Good morning, Pastor Jonathan and team. I am so happy that you folks will be coming on Sunday. Just wanted to give you a quick video tour of what we're doing. I'm not on the street right now. I'm actually in the parking lot of my apartment. But I wanted to give you some idea, and I know that, Jonathan, you've been there, and two or three people who will be with us on Sunday have been there. But for everybody else, I just wanted to introduce you to some of the things that we typically give away as part of this ministry outreach. And as some of you know, it's very casual. We're going there from a Christian perspective, but we're not pushing our faith because some people, quite honestly, have such a negative feeling about God. They blame God for their situation and all that kind of stuff. So we're not there to debate them on that topic or anything. We are just there to let them know that they're cared for and that they're loved. And over the 9 or so years I've been doing this, it's gotten better, I guess. I hand out Christian song sheets, and here's just a random sample of one. One song by Casting Crowns. In fact, this is Casting Crowns on both sides. And it's just 8.5 by 11 cut in half. And I just say that this is something positive to read. And then I always make sure there's always a statement somewhere on the sheet. I am an inspirational human being, made in the image of God, worthy of dignity, honor, respect, and love. And I always encourage them. I say, you say that to yourself every day that you possibly can, every hour that you possibly can. And they seem to appreciate it because these folks are so down in the dumps about how they feel about themselves that something like that seems to mean a lot. Now, that statement has been on these sheets for, I don't know, a few years now. And a couple years ago, I had 3 women come up to me in the same visit and say that they had memorized that, and to the point where the words could come out very naturally. And they were making money, as 90% of the women on the streets do, through prostitution. But they don't call it that. It's called doing a date. So you might hear the phrase, I'm going to do a date. That's what they're talking about. But they memorized that phrase. And the guy was being incredibly rude. And they said that phrase to the guy and got out of the car. 3 separate conversations in the same day. And so from that, I said, we need to increase that. So I now have these business cards right there. Same phrase on one side and a prayer on the other. So these have become very popular, and I always hand them out in sets of 3 and 4. And I'll say to the person, I'll remind them of the phrase, and I mentioned the prayer, and I said, if anybody's rude to you, and I said it could be a date, it could be a policeman, a nurse, I keep it, just all inclusive. I say, you just look at them, and you tell them that you're worthy of respect, and you give them the card. And people say that they've actually done it. Regarding other cards, these days, this is something that Pastor Jonathan hasn't seen yet, but I'm starting to work with legislators to make some changes in the laws and how these people are treated, because they're just not treated well by the medical community and so forth. And so we have another card that we're giving away right now. It says, have you ever left a detox rehab or hospital because you were not being properly treated or treated properly? We want to hear your story. So you've got that question on one side, and then on the other side, there's a dedicated phone number and a survey that they can go to share their story anonymously. And it's from those stories that we're collecting to pass on to 7 different legislators and the governor to work on making some changes in the laws. So that's that. Let me see if I can do this easily. I'm doing this from the portrait camera, but right here, we've got the cooler that will have water in it. Let's see if you can see that. Hope I'm doing that right. And then I'll have a case of bananas with us, and I understand you folks might be bringing some fruit and so forth. We're staying away from prepared foods because they're really cracking down on food safety of people who are giving away things. And so we're doing bananas in my case, water, I think you guys might be bringing oranges or something like that. Needs to be soft food. I used to do granola bars, and people said, thank you, but we can't eat them because the drugs destroy teeth. In addition to that, I've got this wagon. Let me see if I can show you here. And Pastor Jonathan, I think that was you who pointed that one out to me. Let's see. Oops, sorry. And so I got that, and it's been a big help. So we have the cooler that's on wheels. The bananas can probably ride around in the wagon. I've got some socks to give away and so forth. But the important thing for us to remember is we're not there to give things to struggling people. We give the things basically to attract their attention. Like, you need socks? I've got socks. By the way, Jesus loves you. That kind of thing. We're not there to preach. We're there to pray if they want to. We don't force it on anybody. If you have New Testaments that are available to give away, typically I don't just freely hand them out, but I'll try to detect would a certain someone I'm talking to be interested, that kind of thing. And the other important thing that really works is just be really casual. We're not there to push any agenda other than letting them know that they are loved, they're cared for in the name of Christ. And just to a certain extent, when you're talking to them, the fact that they are addicted to drugs and homeless, try to put that aside and just see the person. There's a delicate balance between asking somebody their name, because what I found, some people don't want you to know their name. And so you might just say, in my case, hi, I'm Chris. Don't even ask, what's your name? Because it's a natural thing. They'll say, hi, Chris, I am whoever. And it might be a street name, which is not, it's something that's not a typical name. But whatever, you just go with whatever. And the other thing that I always tell people, and it might not be an issue for this group at all, but we'll see people of all sexual orientations, and that is not an issue. Whatever our personal thoughts are on that topic, that's irrelevant. You have all combinations of folks out there, and we just love them all equally. Other than that, I am looking forward to this. The current plan, it might change, but the current plan is that we'll be meeting at Huntington Station. And if you'd be interested in taking a look at the Google Street View, you could type in Huntington Station, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, SEPTA. That's some of the better keywords. If you type in just Huntington Station, you'll wind up looking at something in New York City. But that street view will be on Kensington Avenue. And the current thought is that we will start there, meet there in our private cars, and it's good parking, and make our way up to the general area of Kensington and Somerset, which is another cross street, and then just talk to people up and down the street there. It's nothing to be afraid of. I've never felt at risk, and even one or two times when I was wondering what was going on, the people on the streets keep the outreach folks safe. So if they sense that something's wrong, you'll actually have people from the streets coming to protect you. It's an amazing process because they don't want us getting hurt. I think that's about it. Let's just have a great time and recognize that the difference between them on the streets and us is not a whole lot. Addiction, substance use disorder is actually a clinically recognized medical condition, just like any other medical condition. And we have to keep that in mind. They're good people trapped in a miserable situation. And if any of them open up to you, you might hear some horrendous stories of various forms of abuse, neglect, and so forth. And that's a lot of the reasons that they are ending up on drugs as a painkiller for that. But just be open to the people. Don't look nervous as we're walking down the street. Don't be in a rush to get anywhere. Just enjoy the moment and talk to whoever wants to talk. And I guess that's about it. We'll just leave it at that. Looking forward to it. It's supposed to be a great day weather-wise. And see you there. So I can't wait. See you soon. Bye-bye.